Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. In today's culture, that's labeled toxic masculinity. But Scripture reveals the truth. Strength that is rooted in love is biblical masculinity. Make your choice.
Welcome back to the Choice Podcast. What are we on? Episode 85. Matthew,
85.
bravo.
I got a question, man.
I got completely distracted because some bloop noise happened right in the middle. I don't know what he did.
Has it been a year since we've been doing this?
I think it was August.
So we're almost a year.
It's close.
I mean, we're pretty close to a year of podcast. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's...
First time I came on was in the fall with you guys.
Yeah. We should have like a podcast birthday cake made of steak and bacon.
Well, I'll tell you this: the birth was in June of last year at the what do you call it? August 1st was the first.
So
one.
we're getting really close to being a year old.
Yeah, how about that? What are we gonna do for that?
I don't know.
We're gonna start thinking. We're gonna shoot some guns or something.
Yeah,
something gnarly.
I'm in.
August 1st is not hunting season yet, so we can't go out and shoot wild animals.
Well, we can pretend.
That's a valid point. We can get better at shooting wild animals. In preparation of.
There you go.
I'm in on this. All right, we're going to think of this. We're going to have something cool happen. There's so many things to talk about, Josh. We haven't been here for 3 weeks. We got our good friend Samire in here. I don't remember.
Welcome back,
Welcome
man.
back, yeah. He was here on some early episode for one or two, and I don't remember. What was the topics when you came on the first time?
Trying to remember what you sent me.
You did some good ones before.
Yeah,
you came locked and loaded for that first one and blew me away.
I want to say it was Ecclesiastes, something you referenced. You just started like riffing on, but anyhow.
There was genealogy, and you were going through genealogy like it was nothing. You're like, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
I was like,
we were highly impressed.
My head was spinning. I was just nodding, pretending like I knew that already. I was like, yeah.
Flexing. Hey,
good memory, Josh. Yeah.
Good memory, except about what he needs or should know.
About most everything.
It was long. It's the short-term memory.
If it comes with if it comes with a 10 out of 10 story, Josh is locked in. If it has to do with like
anything important, nope. I'm out.
Iffy.
Yeah.
It was episode 26. Favorite moments
go.
from past episodes and Crossing the Jordan Part 2.
Crossing the Jordan.
In September,
Joshua.
Iron Hour recap and October preview.
Yeah, rock and roll. By the way, so I have to mention this, and then I'm going to move this, but
this is not
something showed up on our desk, Josh.
We're not endorsing anything.
No, but
we got questions.
We have questions, and so we have no idea where this came from. I'll hand one to Samire here. He could help me like describe this. But we've got, for those who aren't watching, two boxes of beef jerky
that just magically appeared
on the table. It's called Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. I don't know what.
I mean, I'm
proudly made in USA, so that's a good one. This is OG Hickory. And so generally,
is OG Hickory the flavor, I guess?
Here's the thing. The person, hey, open your box up. It feels a little lighter. How many's in there?
Half a box.
Yeah, so whoever gifted this or dropped it off.
They don't like it.
Or they like valid.
Looks like they liked it.
Either they don't like it or they decided, I'm going to go ahead and eat most of this box
or they
before I'm
trying to gift it, but I need to take some.
Or maybe they tried it and they were like, "Yeah, this ain't so good. I'm gonna drop it off at the podcast."
You want to just you want to try a piece of this as we go here?
9 grams of protein, boys.
Let's go. Oh, it's part of the. I bet it. My guess is Pastor Tim, and I think that's your guess too.
I think so.
But we're gonna try this here.
I'm not accusing him of buying a gift for us and eating half of it. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, that part.
I'm not going to be ungrateful for the gift. Thank you, Pastor
It's a carnivore diet approved.
And if it wasn't you, if I were you, I would just take credit anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And this is going to be, we're not going to get into it yet, but this is going to be a Dudes in the Nudes episode.
Hey,
okay. Did I say nudes or news?
Look at the box.
Dudes in the news.
turn the box over to the back and look at the bottom right corner.
24 count box. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to.
I got 10 in mine. I think he likes it. I don't care. I'm happy.
Samire's a man of, is it good?
Actually really good.
All right. This may be one of them carnivore diet. Are you on a carnivore diet too?
I'm not.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Beef, butter, bacon, eggs.
The Whole 30. I mostly just kind of follow like macro approach and do some intermittent fasting.
Intermittent.
I really like
Hold on
carbs.
a second. He just said, I'm not sure I can understand this.
Oh yeah, it's so
Macro
great.
approach to intermittent fasting.
No, I'm sorry.
Let's hear it.
With.
Two.
What's
With-
that?
So I just make sure I have
A with. What's
Yeah.
a macro approach?
is making sure you get good amount of carbs,
Mac and
protein,
cheese.
and fat.
Carbs, protein, and fat.
So instead of just focusing on calories in, calories out, how you lose or gain weight, you get the right macros to make sure you're gaining or losing the right kind of weight.
That's interesting. I didn't know. I've never even heard what a macro is.
Yeah, so you can lose. There was actually a professor a long
This
time
is
ago. He did
good.
a Twinkie diet. You can lose weight eating Twinkies because
It is
you're
good.
eating less calories, but you're going to lose muscle mass. You're not going to feel very good. So
Oh.
macros is making sure you're getting the right type of food in your body.
And intermittent fasting is like you might have a 24-hour fast or a 48-hour
Well, yeah, I'm
fast.
tracking that.
But the intermittent fasting would be like, I'm going to wake up and not eat until 3 o'clock. So I've gone a full 16 hours of
Yeah.
This
fasting.
is actually really good.
It's very
Really
good. I'm
good.
just
Yeah.
stuffed
I
because
know because we crushed a Chick-fil-A.
I ate like a
Crickets.
I got beeped. It got beeped 10 seconds
I was like,
late.
where's this going?
I don't either. Sometimes I just let Josh roll because it's attached to a story. That was just a standalone comment that may or may not make the final cut. Matty B. By the way, my man's hair. What a. Speaking of cut, look at him. What a stud.
Looking sharp.
Sharp cat, sharp dressed man. He whacked her down.
Sharp dressed man. Got his hair all done.
Yeah, I walked in and played basketball last night, and I was like,
Look
"Oh,
out.
looky here."
Look out, ladies.
Yeah, that's
Here
exactly
comes
right.
Matty
He's
B
on
with
the
the clean
prowl.
haircut.
Yeah, he said, "Look, I got some business
Yeah. He's here for business.
with these ladies," and so
Or
I.
maybe it's a. That's fair.
It was
fair.
that was a.
Or maybe I was
dejected-
gonna
he's
say
like,
maybe it's a
"Shut up."
professional haircut. Maybe it's like, hey, this is my Matty B going to business haircut. Doing my business.
Because he's normally a hat guy, though. He's in here, isn't he? He's hat backwards guy a lot of times.
Summertime though, it's a little warm out.
He'll whacked it off. But yeah. And so, hey, look, we're here again. This early, right? We're trying to catch some steam here. I wouldn't call
I'm
it still
stuffed, man.
from that Chick-fil-A.
Like I could lay on that table and take a nap.
Yeah, I could lay on the table, but not next to you and take a nap.
I mean, you could. It would just be really weird and inappropriate.
Speaking of that, I'm watching this show on Netflix now called Outcast, I think it is, where they are, and it's actually Sid and I's, like we decided it's our show because I was randomly watching it the first season. It just came, it came out with like 3 seasons, but I think they were all recorded simultaneously in 3 different locations. It's like a Survivor looking deal.
Okay.
And I saw Sid watch. I'm like, hey, I'm watching that. Let's make that our show. So anyway, she got mad last night when I started watching the second season when she was still working. I don't care. It was a good show. Anyhow, these guys and gals go to a remote location. Call it season 1's like a desert island or somewhere in the Caribbean or what do you call it? Central America. And then this one's in Alaska. But they have different teams, and there's only one role. RULE, one rule, and that you always have to be a team of 2 or more. Okay. You can't just do this solo. And they make camps and they get challenges and they get, eventually they either leave or get kicked out for name your reasons. But it's an interesting show because it's like a competition, but it's whittling down the folks. But I don't know why I got into that. Outcast is the name of it. And I don't know how I got into that. But yeah, anyways, it's pretty good, man. You ought to check that out.
You know what you ought to check out?
What's that?
I think it's on. It's that Angel Network, right? Whatever the one that like they filter out all the foul language and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what it's Angel something.
Angel
or something.
Vid.
Maybe
Angel
Vid
Vid.
Angel.
Vid Angel.
Vid Angel.
It's called Homestead.
Homestead.
And it's really interesting because it talks about kind of like Armageddon, last days. I won't tell you the whole story, but it starts off with like America's attacked with a nuclear weapon. I'll leave it there. And there's
Similar to like 1 second after. Have you read
I haven't read it, but yeah, kind of.
Homestead?
Homestead. But it's got a Christian message, but you won't see it. You'll hear little Christianese things from different characters, but it never comes together or never feels like it has any validity to what's going on. It's kind of like just a whisper that's just kind of out there in left field. But then the end, like by the end of the movie, you will have one of the sides you've agreed with, And then, man, they bring that message out, and it really questions what you might have been thinking. Even I was. I'm like, I know where I'd be in this thing. Be right here. And then you see the end, and you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't the right. Maybe
Bad choice.
Maybe that was a bad spot to.
Oh, bad news.
Because you start weighing it out against faith and what's really important. And man, it was, for those producers or those whatever they are, movie companies that are producing clean, good, entertaining, well done Christian movies, they did a good job. Homestead was a good job.
Okay, yeah, rock and roll.
It was super worth it.
All right, yeah, well,
Let's step out and get some more coffee.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing a second ago. But yeah, we're gonna get into. So we brought our good friend Samire on here, and we're gonna get into a little bit more of what he's been up to and his story on the next podcast. He's gonna be here for 2 this morning. By the way, it's 7 a.m. By the way, so we're just waking up. But thanks, buddy. He's filling our coffees up. And but yeah, the next podcast he's going to talk because this is the testimony series here for a while. But Josh, we have a slight break, and it's really important. And I'll wait till he gets back that we take this break because there was a happening in your neck of the woods down there. As he comes back,
Where I live.
yeah, down here where he down there where he lives, that went a little viral. You talk about survival. Went a little viral.
You're talking about Central Louisiana, and that's the name of the town. That's not the.
Oh, that's the name of the town?
Yeah. Central Louisiana is just outside of Baton Rouge.
So we're about to do, ready, Matty B? Another episode of Dudes in the News.
And now it's time for
Dudes in the News.
Fancy.
So good. That's the best we can do. Outside of Dave making our intro. Yeah.
You stay classy, Choice Podcast.
We're like a low budget, like
Super.
1980s radio show.
Right.
Only,
Less classy.
yeah, way less.
No polish on this.
Yeah, so what are we talking about, fellas? So we got our man Samire, and so, hey, he's going to come in and do a testimony episode next, but like, listen, this is one of like former Marine, current Marine, I guess, always a Marine, still serving at some capacity. We'll leave it there. But this man is a man's man, and I think a perfect guest to have to talk about this topic with us.
Well, he brings a good,
and I think his judgment's better than ours.
He brings a good mix.
Which
I
is
was going
another
to say
good
that
point.
he is a man's man. He does tough stuff. Former Marine. He has a cool job.
Yep, mechanic.
We'll leave it there in the Department of War. But he's also God-fearing,
Yeah.
well-read, biblically.
Go ahead. No, keep going.
Well-versed in Scripture, but also got some life behind him, and solid dude. So he's there to level us out when we start going off the rails.
Yeah, and he also leads our teen males, which is going to come into play. So what are we going to? That'll be a good perspective.
Interesting.
What are we going to talk about, Joshua? What's our
We're going
dude
to
in the
talk
news?
about Pastor Tony Spells, I believe is his last name.
Pastor Tony Spells. Should we
So-
play that so they can hear it, the video, like so you can hear the sound?
Well, just like give them the audio, or
Yeah, let's do that.
well, certainly, can you put the link to it, to the news where we saw it in the news? So this guy made the news. Well, I'm going to kind of give you a little backstory on Tony. I don't know what kind of church, like what denominations Assemblies of God or Baptist or Protestant or whatever. It's in a relatively good sized town. Central's not huge, but it's a decent sized town. And the church is in a neighborhood. He kind of got some national recognition because he was one of the first vocal churches during COVID where Louisiana was allowing for bars and casinos to remain open during COVID, but they would not let churches. And he threw his hands up. He was like, we've gone too far. We'll go to war on this one.
How did you know that?
I found it out later in an interview that he did. And someone was kind of prepping him like we're doing right now, giving you some backstory. So that's how his name got a little bit of recognition. He was actually sued and went all the way up. I mean, the court
He was
system.
sued, or he did sue.
He was sued
Wow.
for violating the
because he kept
COVID
meeting.
he was like, yeah, if you're going to allow people to go sit shoulder to shoulder in a bar room
Yeah.
or a casino, then you can allow them to come in and worship in a time that's like unknown. What's next in the world? My whole world's changing. I can't see my grandmother as she's dying in the hospital.
Look, if the world's in a pandemic, probably the first place you want to go
is not the bar room. It's probably the church.
probably church, son.
So he fought.
Go get yourself right.
He fought the state all the way up to the court and went to federal level and beat him. Yep. So that's kind of where his name. I didn't know about the guy,
Didn't know
honestly.
that. Yeah.
But apparently that's where he's had a little bit of name recognition. So he's not one to back down from a fight.
Oh. And so
See how I did that?
I saw how you did
that.
that.
That's clever. That's totally accidental. I was not planned.
This is why you're so good at this.
It's not because I'm clever and I'm smart. It's because I accidentally walked into that and it just worked out well.
That's how this thing's
That's
going
how
for
most
85
of my life
episodes.
has gone.
Yeah.
I can tell you about my career. I can.
Yeah. Like, squirrel. Oh, while I'm here.
Yeah.
That'll pivot. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how my whole life has been.
Yeah. That's good. So Tony Spell from Central Louisiana.
So I would
Apparently
say if you're listening, I would say this: pause the video, look in the show notes, go to the link, and watch the video we're talking about in question. Come up with your thought, and then come back and finish, because we don't know how everybody at the table feels about this guy right now, and the video. We're going to discuss that now. So maybe I should give you some backstory on what led up to this day.
And then are we still bottom line?
Well, I won't tell what happened in the video. I'll just tell the backstory of that relationship.
Oh, I'm going to tell him what happened in the video.
Yeah, we'll go to there next.
Okay.
But, so this was a 6-year-long feud. Okay, so the church that Tony Spells runs is in a neighborhood, and there's a 4-lane road. So there's say that's 2 eastbound and 2 westbound
6
lanes.
years.
Yeah,
Good
6
night.
years where
That'll matter in a second.
the man and the woman who were not in the video, the man and the woman who were the parents of that young man that you saw, they have been feuding with the whole church body across the street. This is their son that you saw. So when I say heckling the people on Sunday mornings or Wednesday evenings or whatever their church times are, it's beyond heckling. It's things like walking up to an 80-year-old lady as she's getting out of her car and trying to get her walker out and telling her the extremely vulgar, foul sexual acts they're going to do to her as they rape her. Saying
That's wild, dude.
wildly racist things to Hispanic families that are coming to the church or black families. There was some man and woman. I'm not sure. I think the man might have been African-American. The woman might have been white, or maybe it was vice versa. And they had 2 little girls in their family, and basically telling them that their children are waste of good air or something like that. That they're not.
I did not know all
like,
this
it
until
was-
just now.
This is all.
And
new.
it is beyond vile. And so the church has called the cops a number of times. These people put signs in their yards, vulgar signs. There's a photo out there of his dad and mom, this young man's dad and mom. They're in the street flipping off the church congregation as they're pulling up, and the dad has his pants open, exposing himself
Dang.
on a Sunday morning. So this is the house this young man grew up in. Now, here's the clincher. That's been going on for 6 years.
You talk about demonic.
The cops have been called a number of times, and nothing's ever happened to this family.
Wow.
I think there's some friendship in the local PD or local sheriff's office. I don't know if that's true, so you guys can look it up and check me on that. I don't know. Maybe it's rumored.
That's rumor intelligence.
Rumor intelligence, yeah. And the rule is if 3 intel people say it, it's now fact. But anyway.
And that's it's 3 source reporting.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Which is some of the most credible.
That's it. Multiple source reporting. So think about this, though. This is what I want you to think about as we talk about this today. That dude was 20 years old in the video you saw. This feud's been going on for 6 years.
Yep.
So that's the house he grew up in since he was 14. So in my opinion, the one who was really at fault that day was that dad. That dude should be brought up in the courtroom.
So then what happened
Shame on
on
that dude.
that day was, now you feel free to, you guys saw the same video. So basically, old Pastor Tony was at his church parking lot,
He's
filling up church buses
wrenching
to go
on a church
somewhere.
bus.
Yeah, or working on a church bus. Old boy who's now 20 years old.
Yeah. 20-year-old
20.
child.
He's a grown man.
Oh, he is, but he behaves like a child. Is my point.
He goes into the vulgar and vile berating, like from across the parking lot, across the street in the parking lot from Pastor Tony. And my man.
Well, hang on. Let's just say, I mean, I'll be careful, but let's say exactly what he said as podcast clean as we can. He yells to Pastor. He says, Pastor Tony. He said some explicitives, vulgar language, and then said, I'm going to rape your wife and your granddaughters. And when you leave town, I'm going to kill all of them. And there's not a thing you can do about it, with a whole bunch of foul language in there.
And so my man, Pastor Tony, dropped that wrench.
Put the wrench down. We don't need that.
I doubt he even dusted himself off.
No, I don't think he did.
Walked. He didn't run. He kind of ran.
He ran at one point, and that was to get out of the way of that white truck.
Because he said, I need to be healthy for this event.
So it really looks bad, because the first look, it looks like he runs across the street. But if you really watch it a few times, he's walking with a purpose. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say he wasn't. He's walking with a purpose, but there's that last lane of traffic. There's a white truck coming right at him, and you see him take off to get out of the way of it. So it looks like he's running. But as soon as he clears the lane, he slows back down to a walk. And he
basically comes over and he beats the brakes off of that 20-year-old kid.
First, he took two good swings on Tony.
Yes.
And Tony dodged both of them.
It's a good point. He comes over and confronts him.
He confronts
gets swung
him,
on,
and the kid
whiffed.
Yep, the kid swings twice, big haymakers, and like a trained boxer, Tony's dodging him.
Absolutely.
And at that point is when that young man realized he made the wrong decision.
Bad move, guy. Oh, yeah.
And when I say, if you haven't stopped this video yet and gone and watched the video, it's worth stopping now. You're doing yourself an injustice, because now that you know how vile this boy was talking and his family's
now watch it.
Now go watch it.
And don't watch the YouTube. Only thing that YouTube's going to give you, and it's probably because it's skewed,
commentary.
Is two videos that show the commentary from a news agency. Like, well, hold on.
From their perspective, their op-ed.
Go to Twitter or X.
Yep.
Go to there and look up Tony Spell and just that name. And the video will come up immediately, and just watch the raw video. Because I sent you both, Samir, and there were two different perspectives. And so when old boy swings on old Pastor Tony, which we tried to get on the show, we couldn't figure out who we know that knows him.
I tried.
We couldn't make
one of the guys
connection.
I was telling y'all about earlier, one of those pastors, knows him.
Oh.
And I was trying to get through him, and he basically said there's no way to touch him right now.
Oh, right now.
Because I took a great offense to this, although I know I shouldn't be offended by these comments, but he said there were other bigger podcasts, can you believe that, that are calling on him right now.
Okay.
Well, he probably shouldn't talk about it until everything's settled in court anyway.
Yeah, we didn't even get into that. And so old boy took two swings on Pastor Tony, and then my man just like I said, beats the brakes off this kid, gets him to the ground. The kid's basically like, okay.
Well, the kid was still squirming, but he wasn't fighting.
The young man. It wasn't a kid. He's a
20-year-old man that could have been in the military at that point, fighting in a war. So let's not pretend he's a child.
Right.
But he wasn't, I wouldn't call it fighting. Like, he wasn't throwing blows, but he was still moving around, trying to defend himself, squirming, like in an MMA fight. They just said he was still engaged. He was still moving. But then he got really covered up at one point, covered his head real good. And Tony realized that. Pastor Tony realized that and said, we should do something about that now. So he grabbed a fistful of hair, cranked his head around so he can get a better shot, and went back to pummeling his face.
Back to work.
Back to work.
He had done enough. He had enough.
And that news clip actually didn't show the kid swinging first. So when I saw the full video, I'm like, oh, I didn't know he swung on him.
Great point, Samir.
That makes a big difference.
There you go.
Even though he didn't land, he still was trying to fight him.
That's a great point of how the news is going to skew this thing the way they want.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The news clip, it just shows the young man holding the phone, and then it cuts to the pastor beating him up. So it looks like the pastor just came over and started wailing on him, but he was actually defending himself.
A lot of those news articles or outlets didn't even talk about this backstory, 6 year long, and then shame on you.
It actually made me mad on YouTube that all I could find was somebody basically throwing the pastor under the bus. He was arrested. Here's his mugshot. Da 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 da. he was.
Yeah. But here's the other thing. Shame on Central Police because they came out and said they had no reports ever that there was issues from that church and this family. And it later came out in open source report, like, what are they talking about? They have no reports. You can go online. There's like 5 reports over the course of 6 years that the people have filed. Some were church people, some were the pastor and the administration. But
back to your theory about there's some funny math happening there between that family and the police department.
yeah,
Who knows what it is?
it is Louisiana math, so nobody's really good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so anyway, so I think he was actually arrested.
He
Then
was.
Here's my favorite part. You told me this, and they did show this in the news clip, which they didn't show in the raw video. He goes out, but he gets released in time because he needs to give a sermon at church, right?
Yeah.
Tell you.
Well,
Hey,
first
this
of
is
all,
the best part. The absolute
it was his
best part.
elder board and the deacons who bailed him out, which is just so gangster. But he goes to give. He's.
Hey, hold
giving-
on. If Pastor Tim's listening, this is why we need elders here.
Yeah.
If you ever,
Get arrested.
we got you.
If you ever just waylay on some
Yeah.
20-year-old misbehaving,
Running his yak.
wayward boy running his yak, we got your back.
Yeah, you need that. You need us for that.
Yeah. All you got to do is like say the code word, and we'll know that means get the bail money.
yeah.
Like just say, "Hey guys, banana lunchbox."
Let me tell you this.
We're going.
Got it.
Let's
Let me
go.
tell you this. If on Sunday mornings on the Giving app, if they have drop down menus,
Yeah. Like,
and so
do
there's
you
like
want this to go to missions?
tithes, missions, Christmas offering, blah blah blah.
Bail
if there
money.
was one that was bail money, I'd give to that every week double. I'm serious.
People who don't even usually give would probably be like, I can give to that cause.
Yeah.
I respect this.
And there'd be some that
Bail
would
money.
be interested, but they'd be like, I need to know more about the bail money. Is that accessible to all members of the church?
Oh yeah, exactly. No, pastor's fund.
Oh, just pastors. Well, do you have one for the larger congregation? I'd like to give there.
And here's
I
the
may
thing.
need to tap in.
Here's the thing. Yeah, that's right. Here's the thing is and at Christmas, if like we're going bail money all year. If you don't use it, Merry Christmas.
There you go.
I would give the bail money every week. 100%. If it's because the pastor, like I'm just waiting for the pastor to beat the brakes off some lippy 20-year-old kid. Garrett, you listening? I know you're working out now. You have it in you. All right. I need you to do this.
But you better do some cardio, Pastor Garrett, because you can lift weights all you want. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
you can beat the brakes off somebody like Tony Spells
You either
does.
need to do cardio or land a good shot.
Or you
have
can
good aim.
There's an MMA gym right there by Black Rifle.
Yeah, that's where Tony, Mary, and Kurt.
Big
yeah.
big land.
Yep.
10-7 at Big Land.
Anyways,
Yeah, they
I'm
always
gonna
get a
write
kick
that
because
down
I
for
always
later.
mess up 10-7 at Big Land. I always say Big 10 at 7 Land. And they're like, how? All right. So they're talking about giving me,
they're like, all right.
they're like, we're talking about, maybe we should give him a hat that says that and he can feel good about himself. Big 10 at 7 Land. Like, where's that? They're like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. The elders bailed him out.
So the elders bailed him out, and he goes to the microphone and says, it was actually not a sermon that he said. It was actually a press release as soon as he walked out of jail. No, it was outside of his church. So it was right after his first sermon. And they were like, what do you think of yourself? Are you ashamed of her? And he was like, God's word says that we're to lay hands on the sick. And that boy was very sick.
That's so gangster.
The greatest
Let's go.
gangster. So this is the thing.
Here's the question, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, here's the real
You're
question.
sitting in lockup in a jail cell for 48 hours. You know that microphone
He was there
moment's
for
coming.
2 days?
I don't know. I'm guessing.
okay. Yeah.
I'm guessing. 24 hours. Let's call it 24 hours. You got nothing to do but stare at a moldy ham sandwich, right? And a couple of guys who are trying to sober up or something.
Which isn't carnivore diet, so don't eat a ham sandwich,
Yeah.
just the ham.
Just take the ham out, throw the bread on the ground. And you know that microphone moment's coming.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
like, what should I say? I laid hands on that little, laying hands on the sick. Yes.
there
he
it
had
is.
he had that sucker locked
Ready
and
to
loaded.
go.
Just, I dare you ask me what I think of it. How do I square that with the Bible? I dare you.
Go ahead. Take your shot.
Bible says lay hands on the sick.
That's the greatest.
So I laid hands on him. 31 times to the face.
And then a size 10 too. Because there was a parting shot there.
Well, that was, and that's funny because when
just so you don't forget it, pal.
Well, here's what I was taught when I was doing law enforcement down with the military down in New Orleans after Katrina. They're like, look, it's very possible.
Teaching the 16 or 18-year-olds in juvie.
Yeah. They're like, if it's very possible you could have to use your weapon in the whatever your daily duties or whatever. So don't ever use your weapon unless you feel your life is threatened or someone else's life is threatened, kind of thing. However, you're always trained to shoot center mass. You never try to shoot the hand with the gun in it. That's how you miss or people get hurt. Just eliminate the threat, right? And some of the soldiers are saying, well, 2 shots, 3 shots, because we're all military guys. We're 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. It's how you win hearts and minds, And they're like, you shoot until the threat's eliminated. So if you shoot him once, he can still come at you. I don't know if you've seen guys that get shot with a 5.56 round. They'll still move. They'll still come at you.
I've seen guys get hit with a 500-pound weapon. Like 4 dudes putting in like an IED.
Yeah.
And 2 of them, they don't get up right away.
But they still got fight in them.
They live.
So
they're the size of a table like this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're high on heroin or poppy, whatever.
Yeah. Cot. So they would say, shoot until the threat's eliminated. If that's 14 of your 16-round magazine, 15-round magazine, so it's 14. And when the judge says, well, why didn't you just stop at 13? Well, the threat wasn't eliminated at 13. Well, why didn't you just shoot the whole magazine? Well, that would be excessive. So 15's excessive.
Judge. Yeah.
13 was
right. Just happened to be. Yeah.
There was still a threat. 14 is when I felt like I was going to be okay again. Apparently, it was not 31 punches to the face that made Tony Spells feel like the threat was eliminated.
The first 31. Because
he hit those 31 punches or threw them, and then he got up, and apparently he still felt threatened because he turned around and did a motion with his body as if he was kicking a field goal right into that dude's rib cage.
And then everyone, exactly, and all the parishioners across the street, as soon as he did that, said, "It's good."
I thought they were saying
the field goal sign.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. They're
The choir started singing.
Yeah, that's right. Angels, heaven broke open.
Yeah. So
a dove came down and rested on his shoulder. This is my son, with whom I am well pleased. and then he's like, listen to him. Anyway.
I got a question. Before we dig into...
Yeah, we're actually going to assign value and assess blame.
Assess value.
Assess blame and assign value.
Assess value and assign blame.
Something like that.
I don't know. Anyway, one of those things. Yeah. 10, Big 10 at 7 land. There we go. So think about this. 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 20-year-old man is now 30, 32. He walks into the club trying to talk to the honeys. And the girl's like, man, you look real familiar.
Would he have a new fresh haircut?
How do I know you? And he's like, well, I'm not from East Baton Rouge. I'm from Central. Central. You're that dude from the video. Like, that guy is always going to be the dude from the video.
Yep.
That started a bunch of stuff with a man twice his age, 3 times his age, swung at that old man twice, and then got the brakes beat off of him. On video for the whole world to see, thrown around like a rag doll, and just waylaid on. It's terrible because in this day and age, you can't change that story. Like, no, I got a couple good licks. I was going to go for
what?
No, you didn't.
You licked
we
the
all
pavement.
Saw it.
Yeah.
You're licking your wounds when you're done is what you were licking. But let's assess value and assign blame here.
Okay. So then that's why we have our friend here. So we gave the story and we brought a neutral party. Now he's a trained fighter, trained Marine. He's a Marine. And he also now teaches our teen program. So you've dealt with young men like that, and you've also Like you put yourself in the past position as a leader in the church. Okay, so the protector thing, like this guy is more than qualified to give us his opinion. So why don't we give him the mic for a minute? And so your thoughts overall on where we're at and what questions need to be answered.
Yeah, and I'd like to follow up that question with just that there are Christian believers, faithful believers who I believe absolutely are saved that are on all different sides of this that say,
Yeah, there are.
they're like, I support Tony Spells, the pastor did the right thing, to all the way even further than that. Some people saying this is what true leadership is, to the other side saying this was not proper Christian behavior.
Look,
this was way out of line. So
there's your folks in blue would say this. There's sheep, there's wolves, and there's sheepdogs. Tony was a sheepdog. Protect the flock. But anyway. Maybe. But what do you think? What do you think, Mr. Samir? From the top, what do you think?
Yeah, so putting it in
Who's
that
in right and wrong
perspective,
here?
Me leading the teens. If I'm out with my teen group, we're going to camp next week, and someone's yelling obscenities at them, the first thing I'm doing is making sure my kids are safe. That's a priority. Before I'm attacking anybody, I'm making sure they get back. Just last week, I was in Ohio, just kind of related, walking down the road with my wife, and 2 dogs from across the street come barking at us. And I said, keep walking, get behind me. So I'm making sure they're safe first, then assessing the threat. But with in this situation, he's been bothering them. I didn't know that he was going up, him and his family, like saying those things. Part of me is wondering why did it take so long.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's tough because people think, oh, you turn the other cheek, but I don't necessarily think like if there's an actual threat, you still have to protect yourself and you still protect those that you're in charge of.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Samir, because some of the comments from some of the Christians that on this topic were saying he was facing no physical threat. So now let's talk about this. So there's a difference in what the Bible says and what U.S. law says. There's a lot of laws that line up with biblical scripture. There's some laws that don't. Just because this young man has a freedom of speech, which he certainly does in this country, to a certain extent, right? We have a freedom of speech. Was he facing intimate violence against himself or someone near him, the pastor?
In the moment, no.
You could say that kid was 50 feet away. He didn't have a weapon. You could make those claims. I could also say in court, Tony Spells in a court in central Louisiana today, I think he's got a 50-50 shot of maybe getting off, but probably not. He'll probably get a fine for first-degree battery.
Even in the rules of engagement in combat, like you don't have to pose imminent threats, certainly self-defense, but there's other self-defenses like future threats that they will pose if you don't eliminate them, right? And that's like the IED emplacement story I was telling you a little bit ago.
Sure.
Improvised explosive device. If you got 4 guys that are putting in a device, they're not posing you an immediate threat. No one's there, but they are a future threat, right? They're creating a situation that you need to handle now. So like what he's saying is, I'm going to do blank to your wife, blank to your family.
I would dial it back in time.
That's still self-defense.
Let's talk about the first 6 years, because I do believe you made a great point. What about turn the other cheek? And my thought is they did that a lot, right?
Yeah.
They did it, and they tried to use the authorities. They made police reports. They've reported this harassment. It wasn't just against one person. We're talking about elderly grandmothers, people who were, we're talking like the level of so elderly that you're walking with a walker. You're very vulnerable. And they're physically going up to that elderly woman and saying they're gonna do sexually explicit things to her in that church. But like that is beyond vile.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like
in what culture in any world is this? Are we even considering this being that type of stuff being acceptable? He had everything coming.
100%. Now, if
we don't police ourselves, right? Who are we culturally? Who's going to police us? We can't rely on the authorities to police everything. Some things you just need to handle.
Not in central Louisiana.
Just handle it.
Okay, so
and deal with the fallout.
So what do we think about the turn the other cheek thing?
What do we think? I don't know. What do you
Did
think,
he do
Samir?
it? Did he not do it?
I have opinions, but I don't want to give all of mine. I want to hear what he has to
Same.
say.
I don't know. I should have went back and like read to get the full context of that verse. You know, obviously I remember that verse, but I don't think that's necessarily what that's talking about. I feel like that's more so towards, you know, maybe spiritually there's people that are kind of against you or kind of your enemy. I don't think like physically, you know, and it's hard to put it in today's world in this context. But for me personally, and I'll share, you know, in the next episode, but saying something like that, what he said, like I would snap. There's no way, you know, we're still human at the end of the day, and you don't threaten your family. You know, I just as a believer, I don't think, you know, God expects us to not protect our family.
Have you read the Old Testament?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. So there's that too. So I don't know. I would have to really dig into the scriptures.
I think that's smart, Samir.
to see like what, you know, what is he actually talking about when he says like turn the other cheek. I don't, in this situation, I think the pastor was justified personally,
Yeah.
but I could see why people turn to that and be like, oh, you know, we're supposed to call it to love and this, and like, yeah. And knowing that full context, like he did, but he also was called to love and protect his family. So, and to me, that's what he was doing, was protecting his family at that point, like standing up for his
Interesting
family.
take.
Yeah, very interesting. And I think there's two groups of people that should be put on trial here. We're putting the pastor on quote unquote our Karen Guru court trial. But also, you said this earlier, and this is what I think that like the insidious real problem is that the father of the family who allowed this type of behavior
Absolutely.
to become what they did and who they are. I mean, exposing himself.
Well, think about
You
that.
disgusting creature.
The father and the mother have been doing this for 6 years in the presence of their son, who is now 20 years
14
old.
years old, now 20.
So at a minimum, let's just say they were angels of parents from 0 to 14, which they weren't, clearly. You don't just flip a switch. But for the last 6 years, some very formative years from 14 to 20, this is the example of what right looks like they gave their son. Shame on them. And that dad,
Lots of shame.
what,
I mean, it's seriously,
I'm just going to say it, dude. What a loser as a dad.
and it's
You've done a horrible job.
clearly demonic influence, I think.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, you know, influenced by that. I mean, that's just like, that's the type of behavior that you don't see in anybody.
Well, think about every man in that church. The last song is played on Sunday morning. You're about to walk out. Church service ends, and you walk out, and you know your wife is going to be heckled again because it's been going on for 5.5, now 6 years.
And now they're threatening to do things when you leave. I've just had enough. He's lucky. That kid's lucky. He didn't take. Can we have a name for that? Tommy. Hey, Tommy. Tommy's lucky that old
Tommy the tool bag.
Tommy the tool bag's lucky that old Pastor Tony
Spells.
didn't bring the wrench he was using with him.
Well, I'm telling you, like I think about this all the time. Rabbit hole for a second. I've been on this kicks. I get on kicks of watching things on YouTube or researching online, like on stupid things. Like I'm like, oh, sailboats are really interesting. And then I start looking at sailboats. I'm like, no, but I want a sailboat that I can escape in, like go to the high seas. And now I'm looking at 42-foot and larger sailboats. And I'll go down this rabbit hole for 3 months, see what they cost, what used ones are. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm done with sailboats. Now I'll look at, whatever, off-road golf carts.
Oh,
And I get into that for a while.
I like those.
So, yeah, I don't.
Well, here's
I don't
another
know.
question.
My point is, I got into baseball fights. That's where I was going with it.
Oh,
I've been watching YouTube clips
against
of some.
6-year-olds and parents.
That's my background and where I come from. But no,
not-
I'm talking about Major League baseball fights. And I'll tell you the ones I'm really liking right now. I'm not a basketball fan. You know this. But there is a basketball team I'm liking right now a lot.
The Indiana Sparks.
You're close. Fever.
That's what I meant. Yeah, with Caitlin Clark.
She's only part of the story.
Oh boy.
Sophie
Now
Cunningham.
we're a WNBA podcast. This is
Sophie
new.
Cunningham.
Oh yeah, that girl.
That's the one. she's on Caitlin's team. Do you know Caitlin?
Yeah.
Okay. What's her name? Caitlin what?
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Clark. Caitlin Clark.
Also
So-
a young, like she's only in her young 20s. She just came out of
she's
college.
a beast on the court, right? Arguably one of the best right now in women's basketball. But Sophie Cunningham's had enough
Her friend,
of-
a tall blonde
of people
gal,
picking on her friend.
and she's over it.
And so when the refs won't call, she'll tell them, "You call it, or or you handle it, or I'll handle it."
She's a big girl.
And look, the last one I saw, they fouled Caitlin so bad, raked their thumb in her eyes, across her face. And when she got up and she was questioning him, some other girl from the opposing team literally knocks Caitlin to the ground. They call none of it. And Sophie's like, "Gotcha." So she waits till it's under a minute left in the game. The other team breaks out with the ball, racing down the court for a layup. And that girl tried to kind of like shoulder check Sophie,
Bad move.
grabbed the head, threw your girl to the ground. And they're like, "She's ejected from the game," with like 38 seconds remaining. She's like, "Cool,
Cool.
I'll sit it out."
Is that the one where she points at her?
No, but she did talk about that. She said that pointing thing never was supposed to be a thing, but the judges' table, she quit talking to the ref. She's talking to these judges' table or whatever, saying like, "Hey, it was that girl over there that fouled her first."
And then that girl,
And the girl got all mad about it, and she's like,
"Stop.
Don't point at me." And she's like,
And she walks around the court for
And
like
then-
30
and
seconds.
she said,
This
I'm
It's
kind
the
of,
greatest, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm kind of embarrassed about it. I should have stopped, but I couldn't control myself. I was just like, "This is too good." And now it's a thing in the stands.
Oh, it's the greatest.
It's created so
It's-
many good memes.
It's the
awesome.
best ever. And it's clean, right?
Dude, that's all it is. Just
I saw
love it.
one yesterday that said, "This is a visual depiction of my wife pointing something out in the text messages in a place I said I'd go 4 months ago that I no longer want to do because I want to go golfing. This point right here." It's the greatest,
that's so
dude.
funny. So anyway, whatever. So
right.
I'm not sure why I went down that road. But
So we got two people on trial. We got So we're getting to the end here. We got Pastor Tony. Have we exhausted the analysis yet, or do we have more to say?
I just want to add. So I was like, let me just look it up real quick. Some scholars, some commentary on this. They don't think that Jesus is saying we should be passive, which I agree.
Oh, you're back to turn the cheek.
Yeah,
Okay.
back to turn
Well,
the cheek.
John 2 would clearly show he was not passive.
Yeah, but he's teaching a way to break a cycle of violence and assert dignity without escalating conflict. So he's saying we don't escalate it. We're not trying to fight people, right? By turning the other cheek, a person refuses to let the attacker's ill will dictate their behavior. So it's not about like, oh, we should just be passive. It's more of like our attitude towards people.
Great point. And I think
Which
there's
makes sense to me. That's kind of how I interpret it. It was like, no, he's not saying like, oh, just let people beat you up. But
That's
it's more of
actually-
like our attitude towards people. We shouldn't be the ones escalating things.
well, I think a good.
We're not a soft church and we shouldn't be soft men. That's a whole podcast I want to do. I was
Yeah.
looking at this earlier. But there's like Josh Howerton, not a wuss. And the other guy, what's his name that I always talk about? Pastor
Joby Martin.
Joby Martin, most certainly not. And that's a man's man. Like that is the type, like this is okay, right? Because like the church, I don't know, you tell me, but my impression of the church growing up was like, a little bit soft, pastels. Look at, all these, all the pictures on the wall, the stained glass. Like, no. Like now you got guys who are leading this church in America who are tattooed, shredded, and like, just masculine men. And I'm like,
Cauliflower ears.
some of them.
Yeah.
And like, this is okay. Like, this is what a, Christian men look like also. Not just look like, but also look like, and Jesus is called the Lion and the Lamb. He's not just called the Lamb, right? He's got the lion side of him. And so there will be a point. We've said this on this podcast, Josh. Now I'm going to get all fired up. There will be a point for any man that you are required at some point in your life to defend your honor, your dignity, or somebody else's. Maybe it's your family or your friends. And you're in a situation where you need to make a choice. If you can turn the other cheek or you can eliminate the threat or distance yourself, then go ahead and do that. But there may be a time in which you're like, it's time to fight. And you need to be ready for that.
Yeah, and I would say,
And this guy made the choice. I'm saying Pastor Tony now. It's time to fight.
and
I've had enough.
He kept himself capable,
what's
which
your
I think is
limit?
also important. That
Yeah.
you stay in shape, and you can handle yourself and handle somebody else. But here's what I'm going to say. I'll just go ahead and get to where I land on this. I don't know his personal faith. I'm going to assume that it aligns somewhere close to the Bible.
The pastor.
The
Tony.
pastor. So I'm not advocating for his church or against it. I don't know. I'm assuming.
And we're not saying go seek violence, but I say you need to be ready to deal it
I think
when it presents itself.
I think 6 years shows more patience and self-control than most Christians have. Most of us lose our temper far quicker than that. We'll leave a church because we have some church hurt that isn't even valid and blow up and bash that church over something so small. I think this guy turned the other cheek a lot. I think he tried to follow the law the best he could.
For as long as he could.
And nothing was working. But here's where I am with him on this. Your boy pastors a church. His people are getting threatened with rape. And then this dude,
and murder.
Then this dude pulls out the nuclear option and says, I'm going to rape your wife and your granddaughters, and I'm going to kill them when you leave town. Bro,
It's over.
you have freedom of speech, but that does not protect you from the consequences of what you choose to run your mouth about.
That's right. That's
And
right, Josh.
now it gets to the point was, did he go too far? And here's where I land on it. You're going to sit here and quote scriptures to me about being passive and turn the other cheek and forgiveness and kindness. But that's apples to oranges.
Apples, oranges.
Here's apples to apples. You ready? David and Goliath.
We're not allowed to eat apples, by the way, on this stupid diet we're on.
That's right. And I'm good with that.
David and Goliath.
David and Goliath. David was not threatened. He wasn't even in the fight. The fight wasn't his to have. He was bringing food to his brothers. His dad didn't say go fight. His dad said go bring your brothers some chow. So he shows up to the battlefield. He's passing out sandwiches. And over in the distance, he hears this big giant running his mouth, talking smack about God's people. What does that sound like? That sounds very much like what this family was doing to God's people at Tony's church, where he's the one in charge of the flock. So David says, are you guys going to just let him run his mouth about our God?
Yeah. Hey, fighters. I'm just the dude who I'm the lunch guy.
And they're not willing to fight him. They're scared of him.
Yep.
And
For
David
10
says-
days, he was coming out.
David says, well, put this picnic basket down or whatever it was, and I'll handle him. And they're like, well, put on Saul's armor. And
Well,
he's
first they said, you're a clown. No, you
Yeah.
can't. And because he's short in stature, he's
And
not.
He's like, I don't need this armor. I'm going to fight the way I know how. What's he pick up? 5 smooth stones. I love this. Do you know why it wasn't one? Because there's only one Goliath. He only used one rock. Do you know why he got 5? I love this.
This is the greatest, yeah.
Because Goliath had 4 brothers.
How about that, Samir?
Stuff that in
He's
your
ready for
Thanksgiving
him.
turkey.
I got one for all of you.
Yeah. Any of you jokers want to stand up and get some of this? I got extra for you.
Yep.
So
That's
he
right.
goes, but here's the best part. Wasn't threatened. It was just words. Very similar to Tony, Pastor Tony. Slings his rock. Goliath falls. Threat eliminated. Nope. Walks over there, takes his sword out, cuts off Goliath's
didn't
head,
just knock him out cold,
and then
which he
holds
did.
his head up.
He took Goliath's own sword.
Yeah. Used it on him.
On
and
himself.
cut his head off.
Cut his own head off.
And I'm sure you guys have
And said,
seen it being in
"Who's
the
next?"
military. It ain't easy to cut a head off. You got to saw through that sucker. The threat of violence was gone for David. So don't sit here on the Christian high horse and tell me, well, you should use this scripture. No, use them all.
Yeah.
You believe the David and Goliath story
Use
or you
them all.
don't.
Mm.
And if you believe it, then there was no threat of physical violence against David, but you colored the picture in Sunday school. They didn't show you the head decapitation thing because that's not
That's
pretty.
my new picture of David holding up this.
With a
holding
dead,
up
headless
dead
giant body next
giant
to him.
head. Exactly.
In a sack with 4 stones in case somebody else wants to come and get some of this.
That's right.
So I would say Pastor Tony, a.k.a. David,
Yeah.
Spells, did a darn good job.
Shepherding his flock.
You ought to see the picture of that boy's face afterwards.
I didn't see that.
So he had a big old chunk of skin right here. He had 5 stitches to put his skin back together. And I believe, is it the orbital bone around your eye?
Yeah.
Was broken.
He gave it to him.
Dude,
The man was sick.
Brought the heat.
Yeah,
And so
I had a personal experience too. I was actually 16, and I got in a fight. This older guy who's 18 came. I was up at a campground, actually in Pennsylvania, your neck of the woods. But he comes down and he thinks I'm fighting. He's trying to act tough in front of his girlfriend who's pregnant at the time. He shouldn't even be around us. He's, supposed to be a young adult at this point. He comes down, he grabs my shirt. So my reaction is I punched him. Right? I messed his teeth up.
Yeah.
So we go to court.
Bop.
I get in trouble because self-defense, they say you can only apply as much force that is being applied to you. So they wanted me to grab this guy's shirt. He was bigger than me. They wanted me to like grab his shirt and wrestle. Like I'm allowed to do that, but I can't escalate the force. But I needed to get myself to safe.
You Ohio people.
Yeah.
So
I
savages.
punched him. I escalated until the threat was gone for me. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were saying, oh, that was too much. So we had to pay his dental bill. But just like this pastor, it's like, yeah, what are you supposed to do? Just yell the obscenities back? Like, how are you supposed to defend yourself? Like, he was just eliminating that threat.
Yeah.
After years of constant.
Yeah.
Dude,
And you
yeah.
have a legit threat that think if he'd have done nothing and he'd have gone on that church trip next week and he'd have come back to a dead wife.
Yeah, and be like,
And,
well,
and then those same people who are saying he went too far, they'd be like,
Why did you
I
do
can't
something?
believe he
Why didn't
knew
you
that was
protect
going to
your
happen.
family?
Never did.
You're right. You're right. And he did nothing.
Yeah.
What a sorry pastor.
So what's the value in this? Where's the blame? Which one you want to do? Value or blame? The value in this story.
The blame lands squarely on the boy of the 20-year-old young man and his parents.
Okay.
That's in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the police force for not stepping in when they were called to
That's
help.
another great point. What do you think, Samir?
Absolutely. Because not even really knowing the backstory, the fact that that kid was out there with a cell phone, like, he's starting something.
Yeah.
Just let these people live their life. Like, even if you don't agree with them, just why are you out there?
Yeah.
Like right away, I was like, there's no way. He's definitely instigating something. He's trying to
Yeah.
start something.
Yep. Yeah. And somebody was recording they heard this commotion. So they were recording from afar to get this video to start with, which, by the way, is probably the best part the best part about our society today. We get things like this on video that we can talk about.
Well, I like to look
We'd
at
have never known. You didn't have read that in the newspaper. He'd have been a local legend.
Sure.
Now he's a national.
I like to look at all these things and change the story a little bit with race, sexual preference, belief structure. So think about this. What if that family of this 20-year-old young man was doing that to a Buddhist temple or a Muslim temple or whatever?
Or some protected class of people.
Would society rally against those believers more than they? Why did they decide? Is it geographical location because they were so close in eyesight? What is it about Christianity that they become the target so often? Like, don't you think that like when you go to college campus, you can talk about Hinduism or Buddhism and no one cares. You bring up Jesus Christ and man, the crowd disperses. Because there's power in that name.
It's been like that for 2,000 years.
And why are they thinking we should protect all these other belief systems? But man, if
they're not threatened by them.
If it's exactly, that's exactly it. And so I think about that sometimes. I'm like, man, that's pretty sad. But yeah, that's where I land. I'm in. I know it's spicy, but I'm Tony Spell's camp for sure on this one.
Yeah, and I think it's obvious that I am as well. And sorry, bud. So you said, you have freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences.
Consequence of what you said.
Exactly. And the question will be, as the saga continues, does that family continue to do the same type of behavior? Does it actually correct any behavior?
I hope that
Out there on the spotlight, hopefully not.
Yeah. I hope that one day that happened was the day that 20-year-old man quit being a jerk face. Like maybe he walks around and like, that's the day I turned my life around. I quit being such a just big giant plug to everybody I see.
Or maybe I shouldn't listen to everything my crazy father has told me.
Yeah, come on,
done.
dude. Come on. Exposing yourself to elderly church people. Come on.
They'd have had again.
He's lucky he can walk. Yeah.
Again, I think the most. So the value of this conversation, the thing that we're going to take away most, I think, is that we need to develop a benevolence fund for bond. Pastor, get out of jail bond. Okay? Just keep, Pastor Tim, put it on the app.
Pastor Tim, I think we should also have a fund for the church for anyone who wants to go to Enlisted 9 Fight Club right there near Black Rifle and get in shape. Because sometimes...
Good point. And if you don't use it, it's for two purposes. One, to get you out of jail if you need it for fighting somebody. And two, to pay for your membership.
There you go.
To the gym. Or to get you... or to Enlisted 9 Fight Club.
Because
this.
You know, we're going to bring the guy that owns Enlisted 9 on here. And he's a solid dude. He's a Marine. Still active duty.
Let's go.
E9, I believe. Lives right near here.
Why haven't we done that yet?
I don't know, but I talked to Kurt about it about a month or two ago.
We'll bring Kurt back on, revisit his testimony, and bring his boy with him.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can ask his boy about Tony Spells.
Yeah.
The guy that owns Enlisted 9 Fight Club. So, and also by the church joining Enlisted 9 Fight Club, we not only support another local Christian business, we're also getting people in good physical condition, getting us in shape, and getting our men able to protect the flock.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, there's no bad in this.
No, zero bad. 0%.
Well, it could be bad for the 20-year-old guy that talks smack to the wrong church members.
The bad in this isn't for us.
No. I mean, you might get your knuckles a little scuffed up, but that's okay. Calluses are okay.
Calluses are approved and actually encouraged. And I would say, though, as a general rule, we probably wrap this up.
Poor Matty B is like, these guys are all
Choice
idiots.
Baptist Church is not a place that you would want to come and test your luck. Based on the membership cadre here,
it might be the wrong church. Yeah, you might have yourself up against a bad situation.
Law enforcement, and former military that make up somewhere around 70%.
I was going
70%.
I was going to say closer to 85% of them work in the Department of War as we speak. Like
and
this day.
More than a couple who rescue hostages for a living.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it there.
From bad dudes.
So please try.
Let your mind go where it will.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yep, exactly.
They do bad things to bad people.
I sometimes call this the safest. I use tongue in cheek, but it's got to be the safest church in America.
But I will say that what you've heard on this podcast is not necessarily Choice Baptist Church approved.
Yeah, or sanctioned.
Or sanctioned. Or the belief of any of the leadership. However.
In fact, we won't get any more. They won't give us any more beef jerky. They had enough of us. Take it back.
We got a good bit
This
here.
is good.
We're good here.
All right. So that was the Tony Spells Dude in the Nude pot. I said it twice. And I'm in a room full of guys.
We do not do dude in the news, Eric.
Dude in the news. It's early. I need another cup of coffee.
We're going to have more coffee before the next podcast.
Golly.
We'll tone it down a little bit.
Dude in the news. Dudes in the news. This was a good one. I think this was perfect for what we have. Again, we don't condone violence, but we certainly support it when it's warranted. And Tony, we support you in this effort.
Yep. And if you want to come on, Tony, whenever all the legal stuff is washed away.
And you're done with Joe Rogan or whatever.
I certainly hope. I do believe that Tony Spells could possibly, because of the law, not because of what's right and wrong, but because of the law. Because, look, we've got a lot of bad laws. I mean, slavery was a law at one time.
Yeah.
Abortion's legal. Doesn't make it a good thing. I do believe he's going to get hemmed up with first-degree battery and a fine.
He probably won't care.
However, I don't think he'll care a lick. He won't lose a bit of sleep. However, I think there's going to be a bunch of churches out there that are willing to pay the fine for him. But it is South Louisiana. It's very possible that boy ends up with the fine. It's very possible.
We'll be following the story.
We will be following it closely. They'll be like, first-degree battery was that dude that swung twice.
Sorry.
Give him the charge. $500 fine. You can make that payable to the church.
That's funny. All right, boys and girls. Well, we're going to come back next episode with our man Samire's testimony and a couple other. I have a chicken update. It's an interesting one, and need your opinion on.
You need a couple roosters.
No,
2?
I need some chickens, and I'll leave it there.
Okay. Oh boy.
Yeah, bad news.
Yep. 2026 has been hard on the chicken.
It's been hard on a lot of flocks. South Louisiana, the one in Holly Corner. Yeah. But all right, boys and girls, remember this. Thanks, Samire, having us on. We'll have you right back here in what's a few minutes for us, but about 7 days for you all. And remember this. Men of the world, follow trends. Men of the faith, like our boy Tony down in central Louisiana.
He follows truth. Make your choice.